You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're
Hey,
great.
Derek.
Are we gonna have nicknames for each other each episode?
You're
I think
great.
we should.
You're great.
I'm Underboob. That's the original. That's the OG. So you're Nev Nips. I'm Underboob.
Oh wait, let's not give away the studio production value we have here.
It's pretty low.
You're probably going to sing anyway, so you might as well just use
That's
that
a
part,
good
you
point.
know? With this lady, always gets
This
involved.
lady always breathing down my neck, telling me recording's
And
in
I'm
progress.
Mike's great, but not that lady.
You're great, but not that lady.
You're great, but not that lady.
You're great, and that lady's okay.
You're great, and that lady probably just got recorded, and now we don't like her, but it's not really her fault.
You're great, and that lady's having a real hard time right now.
You're great, and maybe we should be nicer to that lady.
You're great, and ladies are great too.
Welcome to the Hug Life podcast, even if you're that lady. This is our podcast. It's been a little while.
I'm
Oh,
Monica,
sorry.
that lady Nevi.
Yes. And I'm Mike, not that lady.
Oh,
Come
I
on
was
up.
hoping you were gonna say that lady too.
But
I
you're
can
not
intro
that lady.
myself. Who is that lady? Okay, I don't want to get his DRM taken down. Okay, Monica,
Yeah.
I got some things we got to do up front. Like, you know what we do every time we do this podcast? We
Yeah,
plug
what we've been doing
our shows. So do you want to go first or want me to go first?
You go first.
This week, Michael Edward Coletta the first. I'm going to be at Ricardo's. Ricardo. It's Ricardo's in Lacey with our dear friend of the podcast, Love of My Life, Moon of My Stars, Kane Holloway. I'll be there with him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Nice.
That's this
nice.
Thursday. And
Okay.
then a week after that, I'm at Joker's in Richland. And then the week after that, Valentine's Day weekend, I'm with Kelsey Cook at Summit City in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Nice.
Where are you, Monica Nevi?
This week on Friday, I'm in Hermiston, Oregon at the Mellonville Comedy Festival.
Oh, the bustling metropolis of Hermiston?
Yes.
I've
Which I
heard
did.
Miston of it.
You're hurt. I was supposed to be in Walla Walla this Saturday, but that unfortunately has been canceled due to the owners getting COVID.
Oh, no.
Which, you know what? It's understandable. It's okay. The next week on Thursday, I'm in Vancouver, Washington at the Underbar. I think that's what it's called, or Underground Bar.
Underbar.
Sure. Yeah. Underboob.
Underboob.
And then that Friday, the 4th, I am in Salem at the Infinity Room. It's going to be a good one. And then the following week, yes, Valentine's week area. The 10th, I'm in Indianapolis. We don't know the venue yet, but it's happening. And then the 11th and 12th, I'm in Bloomington, Indiana at the Comedy Attic with Sydney, Washington. And then that Monday, the 14th, was actually Valentine's Day. I'm doing 2 shows in Ballard. And I forget the venue for that as well. But if you're
It's in
in
Ballard.
Seattle, yeah.
They call Ballard the land of love.
And
in
I think it's
Seattle.
me and Mary Lou Gamba.
Oh, the GABA group is partially getting
Yeah.
together.
Always. Yeah. And more so, and I'll, my calendar will be updated. We got more Oregon. We got Minneapolis. We got Little Rock. There's an Olympia date in there. We got Mount Vernon.
Beautiful Mount Vernon,
Portland,
Washington.
Boise. Yeah.
That'll be
Lots of
fun.
Fun stuff coming up. Anyways.
Well, that's good. You know what else you can do to support this podcast? You can follow us on Spotify, rate and review, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. You can go join our Patreon, patreon.com/huglifepodcast, donate $1, and then you get to an episode, a month.
You
One
get all
episode a
the,
month.
yeah, all
You
that
get all of the
episodes.
ones that we've done, which is a lot at this
It's where
point.
we tell all the hot goss. We name names, and we got a new one coming out this week.
Yeah, we do. Also, you can go to either monicanevi.com or huglifepodcast.com. Click on the Amazon banner, shop as you normally would. We get a little something on the side. It's easy to just bookmark it and know that when you go buy Lego stuff on Amazon, you're helping us out.
Yeah. I don't know why when you said a little something on the side, I was like, yeah, every click is one hand job and you can provide that for us.
Oh man, am I jerking somebody off now for the podcast?
Yes.
This is everything that Monica wanted.
Callbacks, I've been, for some reason, some of like our really old, maybe because of the hug flexions, like I it reminds me of more of some of the older things we had. And Dick Capra has been in my head like for the last like
Dick
2 weeks.
Capra.
Yeah. That was very early.
That was very early on in our.
And if I remember correctly, he was leaf blowing nude.
Nude leaf blower, Dick Capra. Probably shouldn't have said his name, but it was too funny not to say.
No, and it went on for a while. We called back for many episodes.
If there's one thing I'm known for, it's burying a joke into the ground. So that's for
or
sure.
anything, a song or some sort of
my general demeanor being around someone for a certain period of time. The usual.
Yeah, it's
a very grating personality. Okay. Last thing you can do is support our friend Danny Dodge. Her art is wonderful. StudioDodge.com or at Studio Dodge on Instagram. She's got an Etsy store. Buy some shit for somebody you love or yourself. Yeah. Treat yourself if you want to. You can't do it. You don't have to not.
Do it. And when she did your newer shirts, right?
Well, she made the emblem for my shirt. The emblem. She made the logo for my shirts. I've been playing too many fucking video games. She made the logo for my shirt.
A video game word?
An emblem. Yeah, I have an emblem for that because I've accomplished this encounter. Oh God. And but like a logo for a shirt is what she designed for me. It's the Sour Buddy shirt. I just ordered more because I ran out.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna do shirts again, and I'm thinking of having her do the design because I was trying to do it myself, just writing, but she did stickers for my other podcast that are great, and I just trust her more.
Do you want to tell us what the shirt idea is, or can you not tell us? Is it secret?
Well, it's in the special.
Oh, so never mind. Don't say it.
It's a joke that I've been doing, but basically, because it was on the album too, not this joke, but the part it's the Stepdad Energy shirt, but it's got like a whole, I won't tell you every part of it. You'll have to check out the special.
It just says Stepdad Energy and has a picture of you leaf blowing.
It's a nude, actually. Nude? Yeah. It's me and Dick Capra.
You and
waving.
Dick Capra just.
We have white leaves. New Balances on, but nude otherwise.
Light grass stains, full colored shirt. Very, very organized.
These are my yard shoes. I think it was on somebody else's podcast that they were joking about that. And I was like, yeah, your yard shoes. And I was like, my dad really has yard shoes.
Yeah, that's a dad thing. And Ron
I have a yard golf club.
I would say as far as Ron goes, he's like a top tier model dad.
And
the Rolls Royce of dads.
The stepdad energy really came from him. I mean, because he is technically still a stepdad as well. But
do you call him the Rolls Royce of dads? Can you start doing that for me?
I call him a lot of weird shit, but I have not called him the Rolls Royce of dads.
But you will.
I'll try.
And then he'll be like, it's fucking weird. You'll be like, it was Mike's idea.
No, he'll be like, I like Fords better or whatever. He's
like a true dad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's too fancy for me.
Too fancy. Get it on out of here. Okay.
My dad voice always gets like an accent when he's like from the Pacific Northwest.
You become Mitch Burrow.
He's like none of those things. But
you just picture Mitch Burrow's voice on your dad for some reason.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Don't we all?
Hey man.
Hey man, I was a dad before I had a kid. Mitch Burrow. All right. Do you have any lexical embraces? Because I have one.
Yeah, yes.
Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
I kind of have two, I think.
That's fine. Do you want to sandwich them?
Let's sandwich them.
Let's do the old embrace sandwich.
Okay, so the first one I'm going to say is traveling to see something. Traveling to see art or see a performance, right? Specifically thinking of this because a lot of people traveled to Philadelphia to see me and Ben Glebe do our specials. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, there's only a couple for me, to be honest, that traveled. But for him, there was like this whole squad, and they were from we're in Philadelphia. They're from Denver, Dallas, Michigan, like all over.
All these big nerds going to see their comedy
yeah.
person.
Exactly. But it was kind of cool. And you could tell they seemed so happy.
That's great.
They were really good. It was a great audience. I mean, they'll definitely be in what ends up being both of our specials, but they were they came both nights too. But yeah, they were just, and then they'd get together and go to lunch and stuff. And they're buds. It's cool.
That is cool. It's very nice.
I like adults that otherwise would be maybe a little bit not have very much social interaction, finding a group where they feel like they belong.
Hey, you found a place you belong. It's just because you like this one comic dude. That's nice.
Yeah. Maybe or whatever, band or whatever it is.
There.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Florence and the Machine so many times. There was definitely a group of people that were always there together.
They call them floor whores.
That sounds like on the floor. Like that's not.
Mm-hmm. But it's
Careful
only
where you
one
step there.
There's only one O, so it's Florence. It's
Got
fine.
it.
Okay, I made T-shirts already, so you can't have floor horse.
Floor whores unite.
I sell them at my shows, and I don't pitch anything. It's very confusing. People don't like it.
I haven't sold one yet.
I have not sold a. I'm out $300 right now. Are you ready for my Lex Gloom breaks?
I am.
Eating things you've grown.
Nice. Okay, I really like this one.
I made from the ground, from the dirt,
from the floor whores.
From the floor whores. Blueberries this summer.
You made them.
I made them.
Ground.
I made them from the ground. I cultivated them from the earth.
I see. You farmed.
I conquered
blueberries.
The land, Monica,
Blueberry.
and I made blueberries, and I froze them, and I kind of forgot about them, but that was good because I forgot about them and I saw them, and then I was like, yesterday, I was like, I'm gonna make blueberry pancakes, and we did, and they were amazing, and they were so good.
I will say, there's something about the taste of your own effort.
The fruits of your labor,
yes, the fruits of your literally. No, but and just more organic type of stuff just tastes better. So it's.
Do women call children the fruits of their labor? Because they should.
They should.
They went into labor. It made sense. Someone has to have made that. That's to be a good mom. That's a good mom joke.
Yeah.
People talk about dad jokes. I don't talk about mom jokes that much.
No, I did have a bit about what mom jokes would be like, and people didn't like it.
Really?
Well, yeah, it was like, I think she was mad all the time,
Dude, I have a lot of bits.
That's what it was. It was like, okay, this is the mom joke is there's a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead, and their mom is like, you all have different dads. Sorry, I didn't tell you earlier.
That's a good joke.
Thank you.
That's the thing. That's one of the most depressing things about being a comedian is when you think of a joke and you love it, like you like it a lot, and then you realize it's not going to make the cut. It just can't go in. You try it at like open mics and on shows like a dozen times. You're like, it just doesn't.
I do get a feeling like in my heart when it doesn't work that makes me detach a little bit, but otherwise you're right. Especially like
it hurts.
I don't usually feel like they're wrong, but sometimes if a joke, especially if it has gone well before, and then they're like, no, I'm like, you're wrong. That's not the problem.
At the end of the Halo joke, where I sing the Halo theme way too long, because the jokes that I sing it way too long. It's not even, but I have a punchline now where I say the whole Gregorian chant part, that's just foreplay. And then I say, you do it because you love them. And then no one likes that part. They like the foreplay part, but they don't like because you love them. Weird. And I thought the joke is because I've always like it's kind of hack, I guess, like men skip foreplay or whatever. But I was trying to make a joke, but yeah, I just never works. And I think I'm going to drop it. I've done the line now like 10 times, never worked. I'm like, I got to move on.
You're just out here trying to spread love.
That's what I was trying to be like positive, but people didn't. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, Monica, if she ever does her mom joke voice, laugh at it. And if you ever see me sing the Halo theme for way too long, just know there was something there. And
it's good intentions.
I get videos sent to me now of people singing the Halo song on YouTube, and they're like, I think of you. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. It's from our friends. It's not from anyone, like random person. But all right.
But that's good. You're being thought of.
I know. It just feels good to be wanted. Okay. So
yes, classic. I mean, I'm proud of you for your blueberry pancakes, though, if we can.
Thank you. Everything else in my life is not going according to plan, but the blueberry pancakes are fun.
You know what? You take one win at a time.
You gotta take the blueberry W, the B-dub.
Maybe the food itself makes you feel good.
It really did. They were Bisquick pancakes though, because our sourdough starter died. It got icky. But that's fine. So imagine those.
Do you make pancakes out of sourdough starter?
I did for like year and a half, 2 years, and then the
starter. I know that's a popular thing, but I don't know anything about the sourdough epidemic.
It's kind of because you got to really remember to use it, because otherwise it'll just keep growing and growing and growing. And if you don't use it, it gets way too big. So
that movie with I think it's called The Blob, where it just
it's like The Blob
grabs everything.
We had to move ours to a bigger jar. It got so big. It had to get upgraded real estate.
Like a bread snail.
Yeah, it's like a bread snail. Exactly. Sourdough
It's a
starters are
different
bread
shell.
snails. Bread snail. Okay, so the other reason I thought of this is it inspired me. Have you ever heard of a Marshall strawberry?
No. Is it a strawberry you get at Marshall's?
I wish it was. So apparently, and these grew. So the TLDR history is there was a community of people on Bainbridge Island, and it was a mix of Native Americans and Filipino people, and they called themselves Indo-Pino. They made this because they were famous for growing these strawberries, and they're considered the best strawberries in the world. Like anytime you eat a flavor of a strawberry, you're most likely tasting Marshall strawberries. And the only way to get them now is to get them from like the germ cultivation bank in like Corvallis, Oregon. And I'm about to order a bunch of starters of the strawberry
to get the actual
to get the real thing. And I'm going to grow it in my yard. But the only thing I'm concerned about is strawberries like take over. So it's like, it could be too good of a plant, you know?
Yeah, maybe. My grandmother had strawberries in Washington, but it was like, I was like, oh, let's go check out your plants. And there was just all strawberries.
See,
okay,
I think
how are you going to eat that many strawberries?
Too many strawberries, Gladys. So yeah, I don't think she's named Gladys, but I just thought it was interesting because one, there's history behind the strawberry with this group of people that grew them at this time period. It was like the mid 1900s. They grew them and they lived there.
That's awesome.
And I think it's awesome. So I'm like, I have fruit that's a part of history and that also tastes delicious. And I'm going to put it on pancakes. I just have all my fruit goes on pancakes. That's all it does.
That's true. You know what? Everything in your garden can probably go on pancakes.
Everything. Cucumber pancake.
Why not?
Hey, you want a potato pancake is a thing. Look at me.
It is. Look at that. Yeah.
What else? Yeah, that was my other lexical embrace. I'm just excited about growing things. What are you doing? What do you got?
I have lost all creative mind control at this point. That sounds like I'm controlling other people's minds. I don't know. Like as soon as I got done filming, I was like, just
you get the weight lifted off your shoulders. And
you're
just like,
kind of. So part of me starts to go, okay, well, what? I don't know, not what's next. What new stuff do I want to do? But I don't. I wrote a joke a week before and put it in the special.
That's fun. That's a fun thing.
It went really well. So anybody who was wondering about how Philadelphia went, lexical embrace is to Philadelphia. They're a great audience. The staff there was awesome, and the people that I worked with as far as like the production goes were great. And Aaron taught me how to do my own makeup, and I did really well. So it was a pretty good experience overall, especially for how nervous I was. Of course you're nervous.
But it went good. Probably did the first show, you were nervous and you were like, oh, this is fine. It's just like stand up, but there's cameras everywhere.
Way more nervous on Thursday. And of course they were like, you looked a little tight in the beginning. I was like, shut up. I got loosened up, and it's that thing where you go like, I don't want to, what I normally would do and how comfortable I normally would be. I don't want to do that because I need to get through this material, especially because I was doing a shorter set before someone else. You know, he was doing it. If I had an hour, probably.
Was there a host warming it up?
Yeah, for 5 minutes.
Gosh, that's not very long.
No, but even just our sets and mine, I went over by 2 minutes, both sets, and he went over by at least 6, but more, you know, so we were going long.
But they're going to edit.
I mean, well, yeah, of course. Fine for us, but I didn't want to go way under and then not have enough to work with. So
totally. That's
the worst like,
problem.
You know, it was in a club. And so the first night wasn't too bad. There was one little like server situation because they just had them keep serving, which maybe I don't know about that being a good idea. But the second show, I swear everyone in the front row ordered at the same time while I was on stage. So there's like 7 different times that the servers are coming in and delivering stuff. And then these ladies in the front had a problem with their salad. So they're like fucking dealing with this wrong salad dressing or whatever, like while I'm filming my special. So,
oh my God.
But it was the second show. Like I knew we already got enough in the first taping that this show was still really good, but the first one was just better. And so it felt like if they needed to fill things in, they can do it with that. But it probably most of the footage would be from the first one. So it was kind of okay, but that made me do like a lot more. Like I did some crowd work. I got boots that I freaking love for this, but the shot doesn't really get them in it. So I put my foot up on the stool during that time. It was just like, I just want to show these off while you guys are
Everyone look at
fucking
my
talking.
boots.
Yeah, basically. And then
That's
I'm
too
like, these
funny.
are cool, aren't they? And then my foot like got stuck on the stool because it's higher than I realized.
Well, speaking of like the check, like you got people ordering. So I do Kane's show, Kane Holloway and Friends.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's fun. I'm excited. There's a lot of people I know there. It's like a little reunion thing. Rachel's there, Luke's there. It's fun, right?
Mhm.
And also like Quentin, which is fun because I saw Quentin when he was like a comedy baby. And the next time I saw him again, he was like doing really well. I'm like, oh, this is great, like seeing someone grow. But then the club adds the feature and the headliner on the show. And I'm thinking, oh, well, they'll just go
like
on
from
at
the rest of the weekend.
They'll just go on at the end. And then Kane's like, no, you're still going on at the end. And I'm like, oh, okay, how much time do I do? And he's like, oh, you'll do 20. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like 20 minutes is no big deal.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is because those two went on before me, I got on stage as the check dropped.
So you start with the check drop?
I started with a check drop. So one, I'm in the hole because the headliner is amazing. Jean Marco.
Yeah.
He was really good.
He follows me on Instagram and I didn't know why, but that's
hey, he was
followed it back.
He had a great set.
It's one of those where you're like, oh yeah, this guy, because he was at Spokane or something, and somebody else, I think Mary Lou worked with him and said he was really good. And I was like, that's great. And then after I saw that he did the show with you guys, I went to follow him and he already followed me. And I was like, that's great. I don't know.
Yeah, he did great. And it was so funny because he had a great set. And I was like, oh, I'm excited to go up there now. And then I walk up and I watch all the servers come out with the checks. I'm just like, fuck my life, dude.
That's why they didn't want to have him go.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now I got to wait this out for 5 minutes before I get him back again. It was just kind of funny because it was just like, oh.
Sucks.
But yeah, I just thought that was really silly. It was a fun show though. And then Kane did a little bit of time in the end, which is cool too. Like he hosted and then he did time at the very end. So it was really fun. Yeah.
That is fun.
Props to Candy Hallway. Our favorite.
And like School Embrace to good shows. Okay.
I have a question about Philadelphia for you though, that I think most of the listeners are wondering.
Sure.
What kind of sandwiches did you eat?
I did get a cheesesteak, if that's what you.
That's what I wanted to know, or a hot Italian beef sandwich.
Didn't get an Italian beef, but I have had Italian beef in Chicago. We went to Jim's because we were warned not to go to Pat and Gino's, which is like the famous intersection. They're like across from each other. And, like some people like Pat's more, some people like Gino's more, but then almost everybody was like, yeah, but they're actually not that good. So you should go to Jim's. And got the American cheese and peppers and mushrooms on just, cheesesteak. It was pretty good. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't eat a ton of it because I was afraid it was going to bother my stomach. So I made sure to get enough. So we tasted it and whatnot. And then some people who, I don't know, it feels odd being like they're fans, but they, during the pandemic kind of really became fans and participated in all the like trivia stuff that I did and whatnot. They live there. And so they came in like, basically they were like, yeah, well, you should go to Jim's, and then met us. And then they ordered and they got just steak and cheese whiz. I think that was it. Right. But they didn't eat very much of it. So I asked them that question too, because I was like, so how often do you actually eat cheesesteaks? And they're like, I don't know. It's been 7 years since I've had one, probably. And I was like, oh no.
That's how I know the difference between you and I is you're like, yeah, I didn't want to eat too much of it because I was afraid I would get sick. And in my mind, I was like, I would have eaten that whole thing and just
then gotten sick.
Been like, worth it.
We went across the street to a bar called Milk Boy. Uh-huh. Which was, I don't know why it was such a funny experience, but first of all, there's like a big line at Jim's, of course. Mm-hmm. But then Milk Boy has a sign that says, we serve Jim's food here. So we should have gone there in the first place, probably. And they just like go and get it across the street and bring it over, I guess. I don't know. But we're there and there's only one bartender upstairs. And she tells us that at first. She's like, just so you know, like it's just me, but there's like 2 other people in there. So altogether there's 7. And then I don't know, 3 minutes later, a fucking bar crawl comes in. And it's just all like the frattiest dudes.
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah. And just ladies who are mad at me for being alive, I think. I don't know. They just kind of stare at you mean. Those people.
Why are people there stare at you mean? I never got that.
I don't know.
That's just insecurity, if you ask me.
Maybe. But yeah, I went up 15 notches. And then I was very happy that I did not eat the whole thing, because if I was going to poop myself, I did not want to do it around all these frat boys.
Pooping around frat boys. True American nightmare. It's the newest Stephen King novel.
Haven't shit their pants, but still.
Oh, 100%. But they do it for all the other reasons. All right. Do you want to do the positive spin?
Yes.
Positive spin is traveling to sketchy places.
Yeah.
And we're talking crime. We're talking COVID. Any way you think it's sketchy.
Right. Anyway, you might basically, whatever you've heard from the media or whatever other people that are scared, and then you go anyways, I guess. I mean, I originally thought of it because so many people were like talking about how being in Philadelphia, like their family were like, oh my gosh, it's so scary. The crime rate's so high.
It's like when I told people I was going to Portland.
I know, like, people think that about Seattle now because of everything, and you're like,
well, the job.
Think it's on fire or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I know what that's actually like, which is nothing. So obviously, well, first of all, I don't cancel plans, but there, it was like totally great. In fact, there's like barely any homeless people. It was really cold. That's probably why. But, you know, I don't know. Seattle gets on its high horse.
They really do.
The way that they want to be, but then they have such a problem with their homeless population. And then they would talk shit about a place like Philadelphia, but then there's like no homeless people there. And you're like, I'm sure there are homeless people, but they just weren't around. Like I was downtown, just pushed into a
building somewhere
in Center City. And I don't know. Everybody was nice, and I felt safe.
So I feel like the first thing is positive is you might discover it's not sketchy at all.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing.
We'll see it, because I feel like if you let the fear get to you, then you would miss out on doing something, you know? So if you go anyways, then you actually get to experience. I saw the Rocky statue.
Ooh.
Went up the stairs. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah. A lot of really cool old buildings there, because it's like the original,
very old.
Yeah. The original DC. So
the OG DC.
You can do a tour of Benjamin Franklin's house and stuff, which I didn't do, but still.
Well, you didn't want to go to old Benny Frank's house? No.
I walked past the Rodin Museum.
The Rodin Museum.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my second reason for why it's be good. If it is sketchy, now you're that person at a party who can brag about going there. Be like, yeah, I was fine. Not a big deal. I went to Philadelphia. It's fine.
Yeah, you look tougher or you look more woke. That's always a fun thing. You're like, no, Philadelphia's cool, man.
Yeah, it's real cool, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe you like it so much. So this is what I've always thought about people saying that, like, oh, it's too dangerous to move there. Then eventually that place always becomes like the new gentrified place. So maybe,
looking at you, Tacoma.
Yeah, you go there and you get there right before then, and then you can find a house that's really cheap.
That's smart. I know Detroit, they had houses for like $30,000. It's crazy.
They were like giving them away at some point. It was like that in Memphis too. Yeah. Okay, what about the COVID part?
Oh, this is always the hard part.
So somewhere that's booming. You know what I think?
Build your immunity. Boom.
Sure. Well, yeah, I got all the powers now, but
Monica's levitating right now.
Yeah. I am a superhero. No. When there's a spike, right? Oh, big spike. Shit's about to go down.
Oh, big spike. Watch out.
You go, once it starts spiking, then everything there's less people out.
Yeah, you go to a COVID place, there's less people doing touring stuff.
For sure. Everything, shorter lines.
Looking at you, Disney World.
Yeah. I think what's happening here, man, I worked hard. I lost some weight pre taping and whatnot. And so when I got home, I wanted fast food. That's just what I wanted to
What kind of
reward my
fast
with.
food? Tell me all about it
I
slowly.
know. I was gonna go.
Fast food. Tell me all about it slowly.
I know. I was gonna go. Ready for this?
Yeah.
We were gonna go to Del Taco.
I
Mhm.
love the Del.
I know. And we got there and it was closed
I can't
at
believe you
like
didn't even call me that you were going to Del Taco.
8 p.m.
What?
Yeah. And so then we're like driving around. The other thing, like the Jack in the Box was closed too. What? Jack in the Box is supposed to be never closed.
They never close. They're
Exactly.
like the
We
Denny's
eventually
of
got to
fast
a Taco
food.
Bell, which was open, but there's like clearly one lady working in there. I think what the problem is that everybody's so short staffed.
That is an issue.
So then if they get sick, then it's like they don't have anybody to work.
I drive by 2 Starbucks on my way to work with drive-throughs, both of them not operating right now.
Interesting. Oh, I had the worst experience.
Which
Sorry.
is a
I know we're
hot bummer.
trying to keep it positive, but I wanted chicken wings today and ordered Wingstop.
Mhm.
There's one closer to us at the Tacoma Mall.
The T-Mall, yeah.
The only place I've ever ordered them from, so I just assumed
Yeah.
that's where they were. So I go to that Wingstop. There's one dude working. How bad for him. They're only open from 12 to 5 today,
What?
specifically, right? And then I was like, oh, I have this order. And he's like, oh, I don't see it. Do we order online? I was like, yeah, it's DoorDash or whatever. And he's like, I don't see. He goes, are you sure is this Wingstop? And I was like, I mean, yeah. And then I like look at it and I was like, fuck. It sent me to the one in Lakewood because I think maybe they didn't have enough people to like
Oh no.
do the orders or something. So then, yeah, I had to go all the way to Lakewood to get it, which is, 15 minutes farther. But
did you eat the wings and were they good?
oh yeah, you want to know what kinds I got?
Yes, always. In fact, I think you should text me every time you get wings.
Lemon pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I've been doing now. This is new, and it's not that spicy, so you might like it. Is the spicy Korean?
Spicy Korean.
It's very good. So it's like a little. It's not
Almost
too
like
sweet because I did their Hawaiian once thinking it would be like teriyaki.
It's pretty
and it was
sweet.
Very
It's
sweet.
Very sweet. It's like sweet and sour almost.
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
So Korean, is that more like a bulgogi sauce kind of deal?
Kind of, yeah, and a good amount of spice. Like it doesn't hurt you, but it
doesn't hurt you, but it says hi. Let's know you're there.
Tickles your booty.
Tickles your innards. Have that with Mountain Dew.
Oh God.
That's what Mountain Dew's old slogan was. It'll tickle your innards. That's real.
On the way out.
In the way in and the way
out. Okay. COVID. Good things about going to a COVID raging city.
Okay. Well,
I like at this point, this has been going on so long, it'd be a little nostalgic for when everything was locked in.
That is true. Because when I was in Michigan,
good,
it felt very non-pandemic-y because everyone there was actively ignoring it. Now, when I went to the comic book shop, because I like to go to comic book shops, that's my new thing now. When I'm in a town I've never been to.
Yeah, on the road. Nice.
Go to a comic book shop. When I went there, everyone was wearing masks. So that kind of made me remember, but it made me feel a little more Seattle-y, which was kind of nice.
Nerds love science.
But what's weird is I was roaming the comic book shop there and a dude came up to me and was like, hey, what can I help you with? And like, but not like in a polite way, like are you
like,
loitering
why are you
kind of way?
here?
And I was like, yeah, I'm like looking at this stuff. And I asked him a bunch of questions, like, okay. And then he kind of like followed me. And I was like, and it was a pretty crowded. And I'm like, what?
Maybe you thought you were putting stuff in your man bun.
My thought was I'm wearing my big Carhartt coat. And I was like, did he think I was like a homeless person, like just loitering around? I don't know. I was really weird, but I bought a comic book. It was fine. I didn't really care.
I swear.
Yeah, I am here to purchase something. So
yes,
it was very strange.
Unless you make me feel uncomfortable, then I'm not going to.
I'm not going to fucking purchase anything.
Yeah. Interesting. But yes, that's
So you could pretend COVID's not real.
Could do that. Or you could go full on, 2 months in lockdown.
Never leave your house.
Never leave.
Pee in jars.
Yeah.
I mean, the plumbing still worked, but you could pee in a jar if you want to.
I did not even really think about what you said. I don't know why. I was like, yeah.
You just went along with it. That's what we got to do. Monica's got to film a special every week, and then she'll follow me along with my stupid fucking jokes.
It's like, while I'm tired doing it, it's just like my brain is like flat. I'm just like, I was like, yeah. During the pandemic, we all had to pee in jars. I remember that.
Yeah, like a Diet Coke left in my car overnight. Monica is flat.
That sounds offensive.
Oh yeah, because it's a boob thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
I started calling myself the #1 member of the itty bitty kitty committee because Delilah's very tiny. But then I feel like people think I'm saying itty bitty titty committee, which is, you know.
I mean, what I think you were saying is that your vagina is small.
I didn't think about that the whole time. Whoops. Card carrying member of the itty bitty kitty committee. Oh my god. How did I not even think about that? Oh no. I've been like telling people thinking it's funny. Like a dummy.
Everyone's like,
no.
I don't know what Mike.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad we found this out. Guess that joke's dead.
I say use it more.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Hey, Monica, before we go, do you have a charity you want to talk about?
This is an interesting angle I'm taking this week.
New charity angle. I like it because we're switching it up.
Yeah. Well, and I know with a lot of the hug flexions, you've been getting some other ones coming back up, and I think that's cool. But first, I keep hoping we're going to get out of the situation we're in, and it just seems like that's not the time right now. And therefore, I have seen a lot of pretty sad stories lately. And I think that maybe you have as well. And maybe if you're in the donating mood, you go and find one of those sad stories on GoFundMe or whatever. My family had a tragedy happen right before COVID that a lot of people were really helpful with in that way. And it made a huge difference for us. And I had a friend a month ago, his mom passed away. She got hit by a car.
Jeez.
And in the middle of the holidays, and they had lost
Wow.
his father like 2 years before. So it was just like, I don't know. It's a shitty thing that you're like, money is actually really helpful during that time, but that's so much for them to have to do when you also need to grieve. And so, with all these things going on, COVID, all the different stuff, there's just a lot of stories like that. And if you see one, maybe toss a couple bucks their way.
That's really nice.
I guess.
That was a very intense thing right after my tight vagina joke, though.
Tight vagina joke.
You really kind of brought the mood down with that.
You did. I know. It's really how I like to end these things.
Oh, with that, is there anything you want to say to the listener before we go?
I love you so much.